Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another bonus episode of What It Takes to Be a Rock Star. So, this week I am so excited because I have a really, really fun episode for everyone out there listening. This week I decided to go and talk to everyone from season one, which started in September of 2024. And I wanted to find out what everyone has been up to since their episodes aired. And to be honest, this was really, really exciting for me because everyone, I noticed that they were all killing it. Like all of 2025, and now it's the beginning of 2026. So this was really exciting for me. And I have voice notes from basically everyone. I do have some things to tell you through text, so I'll do that. But I'm gonna go in the order of the episodes, and so I'm gonna start with 95 Bulls. And I talked to Emily, their singer, Emily Ashenden. And this episode was the first episode ever, and it aired on September, what, 3rd, 19, September 3rd, 2024. And Emily sent me a voice note to let me know how things have been going since then. So let's listen.
Hello, Mel, and what it takes to be a rock star. This is Emily from 95 Volt, and it is April in the year of our Lord 2026 right now. And I believe the last we spoke on a not personal but professional level was in September of 2024. And that was right before our first Midwest tour, which went really well. It was fun. Trying to think of highlights. We played Evolution Festival in St. Louis, which was really fun. And we set up across from Killer Mike while he was like playing, and it felt like I was like in a Benadryl dream or something. It was cool. I saw the Killers, so it was like I was going through puberty a second time. It was really cool. And then we played this college called Grinnell. They were awesome. Kids are the future. And since then, we also did a West Coast tour that was really, really fun. Just this last summer. Really fun. And on that tour, we released our second full length record, Canadian Nightclub, self release. And that's out now. So you can listen to that pretty much anywhere. And yeah, currently in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, finishing writing our next EP that we're going to record in 2 weeks. And looking forward to that. I think we're going to call it Vanity Muscle. And I think that those are the updates. We got some shirts. We don't have a booking agent anymore, so that's an update. So I'm emailing people now. I'm sending emails because that's what booking agents do. So I figure perhaps I'll slip into that hat a little bit and see how the cookie crumbles. Thank you for checking in and all that you do. Coolest show in the world. And I hope that one day we can have a group dinner at like an Arby's and just shut it the hell down. Okay, love you. Bye.
Such a good update. Yeah, last time we talked, they had a booking agent, but the booking agent was possibly going to drop them, so I guess that happened. But yeah, sometimes you gotta send the emails, you know? You just gotta send the emails yourself, and that's okay. I'm really happy for them. Thank you, Emily, for that update. And if you haven't listened to their episode, it's really fun. Really, really fun. I went to Emily's house in Queens and we recorded in her kitchen and we just had a blast doing it and couldn't have asked for a better first guest, to be honest. All right, next up is Ghost Funk Orchestra. So I talked to Seth from Ghost Funk Orchestra because I was really, really, really looking forward to hearing from Seth about how he manages to bring this huge band on tour. And since our conversation, which was also in September of 2024, they've done some really epic things. They managed to get to Europe. They've released a live album. They did. I'm gonna let you hear from Seth himself, but this was just super cool to hear about. So let me get that rolling for you here.
This is Seth from Ghost Funk Orchestra.
And in the time since we last spoke, we have finally broken the seal and started touring overseas. We actually just got back from our second tour of Europe and the UK, and it has proven to be a really amazing place for what we're doing. We've been really well received over there, and it's just been very exciting to get to see bits of the world that we might not have seen otherwise. So we've been full steam ahead on doing as much in Europe and the UK as possible. And we've also made friends and touring partners with the band Psychedelic Porn Crumpets from Australia. It was kind of the offer came completely out of the blue, but we did some shows with them in the States, got on really well, and kind of found ourselves in this interesting spot where instead of performing in front of a more jazz and funk tuned audience, we were performing in front of psych rock fans. And it worked better than I anticipated. So we've started, we've been doing more with them. We just did a couple shows with them in Spain and looking to do more with them when they come back to the States. But being touring partners with them has kind of reframed how I approach our live show a little bit, and in a positive way. We've always known that we thrive better in more of a loud psych rock setting than in jazz clubs, but I don't think it was illustrated as clearly as it was when we finally started touring with a proper psych rock band. So it's given us a bit of a new mission in terms of how to frame the live show. And other than the touring life, we just put out a record that we recorded live on our first European tour that was cut between two back-to-back shows. One was in Amsterdam and one was in Warsaw, Poland. And we also just finished up the next studio album, which will come out later this year. So things are moving, things are active for us right now, and it's been really exciting. It's been really fun. We're trying to figure out what the next moves are tour wise, but just kind of enjoying where we're at right now. Riding high, coming home from doing a month in Europe and the UK with some really cool places, Austria, Hungary, returning to Germany, returning to the Netherlands. We did a lot more UK than we've ever done before. First shows in France. So it's just exciting stuff. Like, we're all very excited for what's next. And, our slow and steady trajectory feels really nice and feels organic. The fans that we've been making seem to really cling, which is great. And they're along for the ride with us. So we're just feeling grateful, and I'm excited for the next yearly checkup with you. Hopefully, we have some more cool stuff to share. But as of right now, things are going well. So we're grateful for where we're at and very hopeful for what might be next.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. I love when people are doing their thing. um, so yeah, if you haven't listened to that episode, it's really fascinating, to be honest. And I was super excited to get Seth on. And episode 3 and 4, that was LG from Thelma and the Sleaze. And I mean, I'm gonna say this about every episode, but I truly loved this episode as well. Episodes, I guess. I split it into two because uh I'm a person who loves very long podcasts, but I was like trying to be kind to those who need to listen to things incrementally. So I split this one into two. But since this podcast that we aired on September 17th and the week after with LG, they've done some awesome stuff too. It's so great. So here you go. Here's a voice note from LG.
What it takes to be a rock star. Hi, how's it going? It's LG from Thelma and the Sleaze, and it's been a long time. I had a great time on your podcast, and I'm still out here, still touring, still rock and rolling. Got my girls Hot Sauce and Tinkerbell with me. And we just been going out here and blowing minds every night. We have a new album that's due out this year sometime whenever I get enough money to put it out. And yeah, it's just been ripping that up every night on the set list, still playing a couple classics, but for the most part, just doing that. Um, since our last conversation, we haven't had to clean anybody's house, which has been nice. We've had some really great places to stay. I know we talked about that. And I know that we also talked about drummers who want to use their own kit. And I've tried to become more patient about that. My eyes are really, really opened. But yeah, just having fun. Just we did a tour with Deer Take and Drive by Truckers last year. Took about 3 months. That was really nice. And we're heading back up the East Coast to play a festival in Maine next month with The Beaches. So I'm very excited. They're one of my favorite bands. So yeah, hope everybody's doing well over there. And yeah, congratulations on your podcast season 1 finale. And I can't wait to see what else you cook up. So thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye. They open for Drive By Truckers and Deer Tag. That's super, super cool. Um, I am really, really, really happy for them. And yeah, LG's just making it happen for years and years and years. And this also goes without saying, but I love all of these bands that I have on this season and on this podcast in general. But before I say that, before every single episode, I love this band so much. Um, I love these bands and I really appreciate and respect what they've done. And that's why I've had them on because I wanted them to tell their stories. And the next episodes 5 and 6, were with Zach from Dead Tooth. And a little surprise, I think I talked about this last year, but I ended up playing guitar for Dead Tooth for a minute, and Zach explains why soon. That was a great time, great tour. Very fun to play those songs. But here is Zach's update. Here we go.
Oh man, where to begin? It's been a long 2 years. I'll say that. I haven't really talked much about what has happened with Dead Tooth. I've just been moving forward as best I can, but there was a big falling out with the old lineup. Basically for financial reasons, because there's no money in this industry to pay people what they fairly deserve. And we basically had a hard reset. And, after our European tour, which I think happened directly after, like maybe a month or two after our first conversation, yeah, the band basically imploded. But me, as the kind of sole songwriter of the band, decided to just keep moving, picking up the pieces and keep moving, because that band, though it was the iteration of Dead Tooth for 3 years, Dead Tooth's also been around since like 2018. So it's basically only been the iteration for half of its life. So, yeah, it just keeps moving, and old musicians have come back into the fold that were playing with me before that iteration, and I just keep making stuff, and that's it. I'm trying to find my center and peace with that. Just making it happen. It's been really fun, and just playing the 3-piece has been really fun. I used to just front Dead Tooth, as you know, Mel, and then I had you play a guitar on a tour, which was really sick. I've been picking up the guitar again, which is my first instrument I've ever learned, and now I'm kind of like going back to my roots of playing and singing at the same time, and it's far greater of a challenge, but also really rewarding when it hits. It's just like, and I think almost more impressive to the audience. I think our audience response as the 3-piece has been better than as the 5-piece. It's kind of amazing because I was so scared to kind of pare back down, and it's been really invigorating and challenging, which has been cool. Did a West Coast run, played 3 dates out west. Not a huge thing, just because couldn't really take off that much time from work. But our shows went really well. We sold like 107 tickets at our LA show. Just basically kind of like going with the flow, recording a new record. We have a pretty solid, consistent lineup of musicians that I play with now. Mostly Jason Smith on bass and Dylan Taggart on drums, but a rotating cast. Like Dylan plays drums in War on Women, and he's on the road a lot. So we have Eric Harm from Titus Andronicus is filling in. Mark Water plays bass with us sometimes. Dan Madelone plays bass with us sometimes. Eddie Charfello plays bass, who played bass on the tour you were on, Mel. I'm basically just assuming guitar duties now. Stephen Chen plays sax with us when he's around. Also very busy. He plays in Ghost Funk Orchestra. And we've got some really cool shows coming up here. We're playing May 8th with Bush Tetris, which is like a late 70s post-punk new wave band. We're on Wharf Cat Records, and we're doing a show with them at Le Poisson Rouge. We're doing a loft party with Thelma and the Sleaze, who you've had on your show, on the 20th in I think a loft in Chelsea with Jasna Suarez. A couple shows in the Northeast, like a little run up to Massachusetts. And then we're doing a Philly show in August. That's all part of like one little run. Philly show. We're doing Penn State University or something, doing a show there. I don't have this all written down in front of me. I'm kind of just spitballing because I have to run soon. But trying to remember everything. Doing a really cool festival in Toronto over the summer that's not announced yet, but should be soon. And really working on getting a new record done, putting it out with this new label, and the whole like falling out kind of like made me reevaluate who my like real friends are and how I can proceed in this industry in a wholesome way. I'm trying to just figure out a way that my life can work with my music and feel good. I think this whole geese psyop conversation has sparked some really interesting conversations about class in the music industry and the advantages that the wealthy have over the working class when it comes to making music. I've just been kind of learning how to do things at my own pace rather than trying to compete and keep up, because it's impossible if you have to work a 40-hour week job, which I do, to support yourself, and can't spend the time on the road that people in better situations can. You're just at a severe disadvantage. So I don't know. I feel good. I feel productive. Yeah, just one step at a time. Oh, I drove a van for Mac DeMarco, which was a really special experience. Got to meet him, which was cool. Really cool guy. And in part of the deal was like I had to drive a van to Halifax, Canada for them, and then was going to Toronto afterwards to drive it from Toronto to Winnipeg. And I had a week off in between those two legs, and their team was kind enough to like give me a travel stipend as opposed to fly me back to New York in the interim. And I basically rented a backline in Toronto and drove up to a cabin in Kearney, Ontario, and isolated myself there with no Wi-Fi, no cell service, and just recording gear and instruments, and did a lot of the writing on the new record there. Just been trying to, ninja my way through the music world as always, and come up with creative solutions to capitalism's impossible challenges, and figured out how to stay sane doing it. Yeah, it's been cool. I like my life. I like my work. I like my job. I like my coworkers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah, just working with people I like and that I can trust, and it's been cool. And yeah, catch you soon.
Real talk. That's what I really loved about the episode with Zach. I mean, everyone really opened up, but we talked for 2+ hours or something between our episodes. Episodes 5 and 6. Thank you, Zach, for sharing. Yeah, it's really tough. People within the music world talk about band breakups quite a bit, I guess, but it is tough when you have a falling out situation and you have to rebuild and you have to decide, are you gonna keep this thing going or start from scratch again? And both can be difficult. So the next episode was episode 7, where I talked to Emma Welch, the bass player from SKORTS, and my goodness, has a lot happened since our episode with together. Our Oh my gosh, I can't even. I'm just gonna let Emma tell you what happened, but yeah, I was talking to Emma because she was playing in a band called Sir Chloe, and they're playing these huge shows, but then she'd be building skorts on the side. And then when we talked, we found out that Emma wasn't playing with Sir Chloe anymore and was kind of going all in on skorts. And so here is what has happened since our episode that aired in October of 2024.
Hello, rock stars. This is Emma from SKORTS. I spoke to Mel late 2024, fall 2024, and a lot has changed since then. A lot of good things. I was just listening back to see what the hell I was up to back then. Since taping that podcast, I got to go on tour playing viola with Aggie Miller, which was a really cool full circle moment. I had not been playing viola much since my studious school days, and that was really special. But since that, I've really just had to put my focus on SKORTS. I had to quit Aggie Miller, which was a bummer personally because I love that band, but I felt like I couldn't give them as much as they needed. And then I also really wanted a little time in my week to like make soup and go on walks by myself, which I do some of sometimes, but still not a lot of. But things with SKORTS have been really exciting and growing really steadily. All the things I talked about in that episode that I hoped would happen for us have since happened, which is super cool to say. We got management. We work with this great team, Josh and Rachel, who look out for us and help us grow things much better than we could on our own. We have put out the record I was talking about. We put it out in October 2025, which was super exciting, super special. And we just recently recorded some new songs that we'll be releasing as an EP sometime soon, with a bunch of other new songs in the bucket that we hope to record this fall to make our second album. When I recorded the podcast, we were just about to go on our first little DIY weekenders. And since that, we have done a lot more touring. We did another DIY tour, and then middle of last year, we started working with a booking agent, both in the States and also another agent in Europe. We got to go to Europe in the fall, which was wild. And this week, we just recently got back from playing Treefort Festival in Boise. And on Monday, we're going to set out on a 6-week tour all over the States, opening for a band from Chicago called Bridget Calls Me Baby, playing bigger venues than we've gotten to play before. So everything is steadily growing. And then we're going back to Europe in the summer. And it's been really exciting and very natural. And we're just excited to keep steadily growing on to bigger places and just getting better and better as a band. We still practice twice a week when we're home. I still do not find time to play bass for myself very often, but I'm getting better at that. I took some voice lessons with Tony from Tony and the Kiki, who I highly recommend studying with. And I'm always still trying to seek the balance between making art out in the world and making art with myself. But I feel very fulfilled and very lucky. Love Mel, love this podcast.
I forgot to mention Emma was on tour during that voice memo. And she told me, and I was like, "It's fine." She said, "Just did this on the street. We can totally make another one." But I I love it. I've had to record parts of this episode on the streets and stuff while on tour, or parts of this podcast while on tour. I totally get it. When you're on tour, you just got to do it. And most of the time that you have time is when you're walking somewhere on the street or you're like walking to get something to eat. So thank you, Emma, for the update. They also got a van for their band. I don't know if she said that, but um I think that's been something that has obviously helped them get out in the world more. So that's really cool. I'm really happy for them. And the next update is from Dylan from Balaclava, who's also been up to some stuff. I swear, everyone from this season, the reason I wanted to do this update was because I've just been watching this, a whole year go by and just watching them do like more and more cool stuff, like everyone. So I thought it'd be fun for everyone to hear what has been going on. So here's here's stuff from Dylan. Here's an update.
Yo, what up, Mel? This is Dylan from Balaclava, checking in, saying what's up, seeing what we've been up to since October 2024. That's crazy. That was quite a while ago, it seems. At the same time, not that long ago at all. It's even hard to remember what we were doing at that time. I had to go back in the old Insta archives to kind of remind myself of what we've done. And we've done a lot. It's been really cool. Went on a couple tours. They were still DIY, still doing it myself, still losing years of my life booking it myself. But it's been fun. We've gotten really close with a few different bands that we've toured with. We had some great shows down south. Had like a really cool Halloween show that year in New York. That was sweet. 2025 was a little bit quieter of a year. At the end, we started to do a few more stuff, but this year, 2026, is we've really pedaled to the metal. We're doing so much. We're doing like 6 tours this year. I think 6 is the final number. It's late April right now. We've done 3. We did 3 tours. We went to Canada, played a Sick Fest in Montreal. We went to South by Southwest. We blew that shit up. That was really awesome. That's really fruitful for us. We just went to Ohio. We're going to go on our first European tour this summer, which is crazy. That's blowing my mind that that's even a thing. That's been like a childhood goal of mine ever since I was younger, watching YouTube videos of bands, do interviews in Europe, some American band. I was like, damn it. I always thought that was really cool. And I'm doing it. That's really, really dope. That stuff like that is happening. A lot of other cool things. I think we found a home for Balaclava. I know we are, when me and you talked last time, we were talking about labels and either doing it yourself or going with a label. And, I don't know when this is going to air, so I don't know how much I can say because it's not announced yet. But yeah, we found a home for Bala, and I'll spill the beans. You heard it here first, I guess, on what it takes to be a rock star. But the debut Bala album will be coming out early next year on said label. So I guess you'll hear more about that. So it's been cool. The band's been doing great. I feel like I'm achieving goals. Cool things are happening, which is great. All these big ups. It's kind of been paired with some crazy like personal. Not lows, but it's been really tough financially, specifically. Every time the band's on the road is time I'm not making money, and it's really been catching up. I'm in this like financial pit of doom, looking upwards and seeing all this awesome shit that Balaclava is doing, and I feel great about that. But it's been tough, It's been this balancing act. It's been what it takes, so to say. So I've been struggling with that personally, but it at least I'm seeing the fruits of my labor somewhat materialize into big things. So it's good. There's that. More to come. Gonna finish out this year, going to Europe, going back to Canada. Next year is gonna be even crazier with the album coming out and more just keeping my head down and doing it. Can't stop now. Won't stop. Maybe I'll end up homeless because of it, but I think it'll all be worth it. How you doing? How you doing, Mel? I'm sure everybody wants to know. I think you should also share what you've been up to because, I mean, I'm interested. But hey, thanks for reaching out and asking what's up because it actually made me realize, like, damn, so much is fucking happening, and that's really crazy. So it's nice to reflect. It's nice to realize that all this hard work is becoming somewhat worth it, and I can't wait to see how that sentiment grows and changes as time goes on. So fuck yeah, keep rocking the free world, and thanks, Mel. Cheers.
Oh, that was good. Oh, it's so real. It's so real. That's huge. Like the band's doing better and better and better, and then you can't work when you're going on tour so much. So, but you like are working, but you're not working. It's so weird. That weird mid-level spot is so real. It's like so real, especially when you have a band. If you, I feel like if you're a solo artist, you have um it's easier to make it work because you basically get paid the same amount that a whole band would get paid. But you get to actually keep some of that money. But if a whole band is sharing like $150 for a show, obviously, and there's five of you or whatever, like obviously that's way less per person. And obviously everyone who is playing music isn't in it for the money because if they were, they'd be gone a long, 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 long time ago. But thanks, Dylan, for asking how I'm doing. I'm doing good. I'm in similar boats of lots of views. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I've done since October of 2024, but it was a lot. Um, I think my band Gustav, we went on a tour with LCD Sound System. We opened up for St. Vincent last year. We did a lot of stuff, but I can't even remember. We played the Knockdown Center in New York, opening for ESG for a Halloween show. It was a lot. But then later last year I started playing a lot of drums with my other band Crusasis, who was also on this podcast. He was my boyfriend, but we've been playing a lot of like motorcycle music recently, like really fun, kind of just fast, like rock and roll. It's been really fun. And then I have Francie Moon show coming up next month in Jersey that I'm working on, practicing for and everything. And I'm working on getting an album out, but the war has delayed production. So that's where I'm at right now. But I have one more update for you all. And this was episode 9 with Ozzy from Show Brain. And Ozzy plays music in a lot of bands. Recently, he's been in Ponds a lot, and he's filled in for a million bands. And we talk about that on the episode. But Showbrain is a nonprofit that puts on free shows the in parks in New York City. And I really wanted to hear about Ozzy and how he just started doing this and where the idea came from. And since then, I have an episode up about a Scene is Born episode from this season, season 3, about someone who got inspired by that episode and started a scene elsewhere, in Longmont, Colorado, I think. Um, Anyway, Ozzy sent me some text, so I'm gonna read it to you all. And I just they've been doing some really, really epic things too. It's been awesome to see. So, all right, this is from Ozzy. Hi Mel, since I was on the show back in October 2024, Showbrain has continued building momentum as a grassroots, community-driven music organization dedicated to live music and culture in New York City. We've expanded our programming while strengthening our relationships and continued proving that independent music events can thrive outside traditional avenues. One of our biggest accomplishments has been the continued growth of Showbrain Fest, our annual 2-day festival in Tompkins Square Park. Our third annual event brought together 10 bands across 2 days and was further elevated through a promotional partnership with Cream Magazine, helping us expand our reach and connect with new folks. Beyond the festival, we've continued producing our live shows that spotlight emerging and established artists while keeping our mission focused on accessibility, community, and culture. We've also focused on growing our behind the scenes infrastructure, building relationships with artists, coordinators, media partners, and supporters who believe in what we're creating. We even have a grant team. For our online presence and engagement has also grown with increased focus on posting content that captures the spirit of New York City's independent music scene. It's helped us reach new supporters, attract collaborators, and strengthen our identity beyond the events themselves. Last but not least, Showbrain has continued to show that with passion, persistence, and community support, grassroots organizations can create meaningful cultural experiences in iconic public spaces, influence people, and have a positive impact on people's lives. I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far and even more excited for what's ahead. Thanks for your support, Mel. Warmly, Ozzy. I feel like there's so much more to say about what Ozzy and his team have accomplished since our talks, but I'll take it, Ozzy. I'll take it. He's just so humble. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. This has been a very exciting thing for me to hear everyone's updates, and we had a big group chat in our in Instagram, and it's just really nice to have everyone together on one episode. So thank you to all the artists who submitted their updates. Really proud of all of you. I wish you all the best, and I hope things get better and better for everyone. And thank you to our listeners here. And thank you to Sorry Cables for sponsoring this podcast. And stay tuned for more episodes coming. All right. Bye.